bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones start to does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones start to take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones start to does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones start to take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones start to does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones start to take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones start to does the bones take you? Over, you just can't breathe. Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones start to does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones start to take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones start does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones start to take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones start does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones start to take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones start does the bones take you?
There's not a single day that passes without you on my mind. Not even 1 minute can end up before you come around. I yearn for the days when I see your face here before me. I long for the times you held me in your arms. Whoa. How I wish that you were here to give me everything I want. But I know that life's unfair and we can't always have it.
When you say you're feeling lonely, if you ever need a shoulder, you know where to find me. Stop chasing all the city lights. Breathe me in, go on and take your bite. Count on me to make you come alive. You know where to find me tonight. You know where to find me when you feel the world is over, when you say you're feeling lonely, if you ever need a shoulder, you know where to find me. Stop chasing all the city lights. Breathe me in, go on and take your bite. Count on me to make you come alive. You know where to find me tonight. You know where to find me
We lost our minds in the darkness of night. We live to die. We lose our souls every day. We lost our minds. We don't remember what's wrong and what's right. The world is dead, but we stay. 'Cause we are born as living fights. We live to die. We live to die. And we surrounded by the night. We live to die. We are shadows in the neon light. We are shadows in the neon light.
lost in the sound, into the light now. 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 Into the
control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Stop this conversation. Stop this conversation. We got no relation. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Stop this conversation. Stop this conversation. We got no relation. And it goes like It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. a reckoning. You wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face, got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you'll break your back to make me feel again, suffocate to make me breathe again, lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came. I stopped asking for forgiveness, cause you should know only fools tread where the angels fear to go, but you keep trying to get too close. Save myself by turning into stone. So save your judgment cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break, swear I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your back to make me feel again, suffocate to make me breathe again, lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came.
You make me move, you make me dance, you make my heart beat super fast. You lift me up, you make me laugh. Baby, you're the best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. Best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. Best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. You make my heart beat super fast. Super fast, super fast.
You make my heart beat super fast.
What does love feel like? What does love feel like? You're the best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. Best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. Best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. You make my heart beat super fast.
You make my heart beat, you make my heart beat, you make my heart beat super fast. You make my heart beat, you make my heart beat super fast.
is United at home.
Down.
control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy.
earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the
There's not a single day that passes without you on my mind. Not even 1 minute can end up before you come around. I yearn for the days when I see your face here before me. I long for the times you held me in your arms. Whoa. How I wish that you were here to give me everything I want. But I know that life's unfair and we can't always have it all. Whoa, whoa, I wish that you were here. Whoa, whoa, I wish that you were here. I wish that you were here. I wish that you
me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? Now you're feeling nervous, don't you see that I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, you are getting everything. Now you're feeling nervous, don't you see that I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, you are getting everything. 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining?
When you feel the world is over, when you say you're feeling lonely, if you ever need a shoulder, you know where to find me. Stop chasing all the city lights, breathe me in, go on and take your bite. Count on me to make you come alive. don't remember what's wrong and what's right. The world is dead, but we stayed. 'Cause we are born as living fights. We live to die. We live to die. And we surrounded by the night. We live to die. We are shadows in the neon light. We are shadows in the neon light. We are shadows in the neon. We are just shadows. It's supposed to be that we die. It doesn't matter if there is no light anymore, no light anymore. 'Cause we are born as living fights. We live to die. We live to die. And we surrounded by the night. We live to die. We are shadows in the neon light. We are shadows in the neon light.
Into the
changes from the side that easily beat Birmingham 3-0 in the third round of the FA Cup on Sunday. Edison returns in goal with John Stones, Alexander Zinchenko and Ilkay Gundogan also starting. Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and Ferran Torres are among the City subs. Well, Brighton make 7 changes after beating Newport County on penalties in the FA Cup. In come Robert Sanchez, Dan Burn, Leandro Trossard, Percy Tau, Davy Proper, Bernardo and Joel Veltman. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Manchester City can move up into the top 4 this evening if they pick up all 3 points at home against Brighton in the 6 p.m. Premier League kickoff. The Citizens make 4 changes from the side that easily beat Birmingham 3-0 in the third round goal with John Stones, Alexander Zinchenko and Ilkay Gundogan also starting. Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and Ferran Torres are among the City subs. Well, Brighton make 7 changes after beating Newport County on penalties in the FA Cup. In come Robert Sanchez, Dan Burn, Leandro Trossard, Percy Tau, Davy Proper, Bernardo and Joel Veltman. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Manchester City can move up into the top 4 this evening if they pick up all 3 points at home against Brighton in the 6 p.m. Premier League kickoff. The Citizens make 4 changes from the side that easily beat Birmingham 3-0 in the third round of the FA Cup on Sunday. Edison returns in goal with John Stones, Alexander Zinchenko and Ilkay Gundogan also starting. Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and Ferran Torres are among the City subs. Well, Brighton make 7 changes after beating Newport County on penalties in the FA Cup. In come Robert Sanchez, Dan Burn, Leandro Trossard, Percy Tau, Davy Proper, Bernardo and Joel Veltman. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Manchester City can move up into the top 4 this evening if they pick up all 3 points at home against Brighton in the 6 p.m. Premier League kickoff. The Citizens make 4 changes from the side that easily beat Birmingham 3-0 in the third round of the FA Cup on Sunday. Edison returns in goal with John Stones, Alexander Zinchenko and Ilkay Gundogan also starting. Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and Ferran Torres are among the City subs. Well, Brighton make 7 changes after beating Newport County on penalties in the FA Cup. In come Robert Sanchez, Dan Burn, Leandro Trossard, Percy Tau, Davy Proper, Bernardo and Joel Veltman. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Manchester City can move up into the top 4 this evening if they pick up all 3 points at home against Brighton in the 6 p.m. Premier League kickoff. The Citizens make 4 changes from the side that easily beat Birmingham 3-0 in the third round of the FA Cup on Sunday. Edison returns in goal with John Stones, Alexander Zinchenko and Ilkay Gundogan also starting. Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and Ferran Torres are among the City subs. Well, Brighton make 7 changes after beating Newport County on penalties in the FA Cup. In come Robert Sanchez, Dan Burn, Leandro Trossard, Percy Tau, Davy Proper, Bernardo and Joel Veltman. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Manchester City can move up into the top 4 this evening if they pick up all 3 points at home against Brighton in the 6 p.m. Premier League kickoff. The Citizens make 4 changes from the side that easily beat Birmingham 3-0 in the third round of the FA Cup on Sunday. Edison returns in goal with John Stones, Alexander Zinchenko and Ilkay Gundogan also starting. Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and Ferran Torres are among the City subs. Well, Brighton make 7 changes after beating Newport County on penalties in the FA Cup. In come Robert Sanchez, Dan Burn, Leandro Trossard, Percy Tau, Davy Proper, Bernardo and Joel Veltman. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Well, a dark, damp night has welcomed the 2 sets of players out onto the field at the Etihad Stadium. I'm Bobby Jackson taking you through this unofficial off-tube studio commentary. It's the Premier League game between Manchester City and Brighton being played this evening at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City will shoot from left to right in the first 45 minutes in their traditional home strip. Brighton, who are set to get us underway in this game in just a moment, with Darren England blowing his whistle and all the players out there on the pitch, as well as those on the bench and the coaches as well, taking the knee, as has become customary now. Finally get the ball rolling in their change strip today, a yellow number with top and socks matching, the blue shorts then just counteracting that in the middle. And it's Brighton who send the ball all the way back to goalkeeper Sanchez. I'll take you through the lineups. It's City with Edison in goal. He returns tonight after a spell out of the side following his contraction of coronavirus. It's Cancelo, Stones, Diaz and Zinchenko in the back line. Silva, Bernardo Silva that is, Gundogan and Rodri the midfield 3, with Mahrez, De Bruyne and Foden as the front three. Looks as though De Bruyne will be the central man in that forward line once again tonight, but we'll try and work that out just as the game develops. For Brighton, Sanchez is the man in goal, the number one it seems at the moment for Brighton, with Matty Ryan having lost his place this season. It's a back three then of Webster, Duncan, Byrne. The wing-backs are Bernardo and Veltman. White is in midfield this evening alongside Proper. Further forward it's McAllister and Tau, with Trossard seemingly the man up at the top. So no recognised striker on the field today, despite 22 being deployed. There is not a striker amongst them. And here is Percy Tau. His first influence on the game is to come forward down the right-hand side. He works it infield then towards Davy Proper. He's dispossessed by Foden. City will attempt to play their way out from the back, which they do pretty nicely. Across towards Cancelo. And he just slows it down now before dropping it deeper back into Stones and Diaz, who have emerged as the star men at the back for Manchester City as the season has developed. There's big money spent once again over the summer by the citizens in defence. Nathan Ake and Ruben Diaz, the two coming in. Aymeric Laporte, you thought would have been a regular, but injuries have kept him out of the side for a large period, and John Stones has taken his chance and set up a pretty nice partnership with Diaz. 13 goals conceded for City this term. Very different to what we've become used to seeing from this Manchester City side under Pep Guardiola, the best defensive record in the division. That doesn't spell well for a Brighton side tonight, in desperate need of points, just lurking above the relegation zone at the moment. Here's Riyad Mahrez out on the right hand side, drops it infield towards Stones. He'll return it back out to the Algerian, who now has a little bit of space to run into before rolling it across to João Cancelo. And Rodri returns it back into John Stones, who's just over the halfway line, assessing his options further ahead. Doesn't see a great deal of movement, so once more it's short and into Rodri, and now Diaz. Gundogan flicks it round the corner to his left hand side with Zinchenko. Now Bernardo Silva can take up the charge and try to be a little bit more creative as he approaches the final third. Wide on the left hand side, sharp passing from City between Foden and Gundogan, but the latter just miscontrols the ball, a bit too much pace on it. That'll go behind for a goal kick. Big chance for Manchester City tonight to go up into the top four, starting the evening in 6th place. A win will move them into that Champions League running. Of course, City's season has been far from ideal so far. Games postponed due to coronavirus. They started the campaign a weekend later than most as well. So they have actually got games in hand. The table maybe not quite reflecting the form that City have been in of late. They are a team that are really starting to click at the moment. Go all the way back to that defeat against Tottenham on the 21st of November for the last time that Manchester City came away on the wrong side of a result. Brighton trying to attack here down the left-hand side, but the ball just skips under the boot of Bernardo. Number 30 on his back for the Seagulls. The rain coming down this evening means that it is somewhat of a slick turf that these two sides are playing on. You'd suggest that does actually suit both teams. Manchester City, we know about their ability on the ball and their approach to the game under Guardiola, but likewise Graham Potter has got the mentality, the philosophy of his side playing attractive football. That's why they have received a lot of praise this season for their style of play. Lots of plaudits for that, but they just haven't been coming up with the results that maybe at times their players deserve. Just 2 wins in the Premier League so far this season. And they are trying to play their way out from the back. The pressure there down the right-hand side, though, is Veltman. He's forced back to his goalkeeper, Sanchez. Bernardo Silva is making chase here. De Bruyne, Mahrez squeezing as well as Brighton work it into Dunk. Forwards, a nice pass there into the feet of Trossard. It's very versatile at the moment, the Brighton forward line. Trossard had dropped off there into midfield. Tau had gone centrally, but now as Brighton have edged up the pitch, Trossard has gone back into that more central forwards role. I think somewhat of a false 9 that he'll be trying to play in this evening, a little bit similar to De Bruyne, who, as we can see, is the centre of the forward line. In fact, Bernardo Silva has now gone more advanced of him as Brighton again tried to play their way out of their own half, but De Bruyne has got a block in there. There was an appeal for a hand against the Belgian, but referee Darren England says play on, and Bernardo Silva does just that. Tried the reverse ball in towards Gundogan, just got away from the Germany international, and it goes all the way through to Robert Sanchez, sent downfield. City have it once more with De Bruyne, who is a little bit deeper than he'd looked a few moments ago, almost in a floating roll through midfield. Gundogan is making up a front three at present alongside Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden. I think it is very much a case of just trying to find spaces and drag players out of position. Really fallen on a pretty good formula of late of Manchester City. It was evident in that 3-1 victory over Chelsea in their last Premier League outing, as Riyad Mahrez now approaches the edge of the box in towards Cancelo, rides one challenge, then tries to get away from Bernardo. He's held up by the defender, does manage to swing a cross in. Gundogan doesn't get there, it's laid back then to Zinchenko, whose low shot is blocked away. Rodri will retrieve it. Back out to the left-hand side for City now with Foden. Zinchenko drops it back into Rodri. City just starting to go through the gears now with just over 7 minutes played. Manchester City 0, Brighton 0. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Kevin De Bruyne on the ball. 35 yards from goal. Sweeps one out to the left-hand side. He's asking a lot of Phil Foden there, but he's done well despite his lack of height to beat Joel Veltman. Back into Zinchenko and across to the halfway line with Ruben Diaz. His first touch maybe just saw him lose a bit of momentum there, but he has time to readjust. City do that, but then De Bruyne's a little bit loose with his pass, unlike him. Fails to find Mahrez. Brighton will send it back to their goalkeeper Sanchez, who's a cool customer on the ball. Plays a nice pass out right-hand side, and it's flicked on to Davy Prop, who did have time and space. That is now starting to disappear as he miscontrolled the ball, then swings across into the box, and City are able to get a foot in. And they'll play out from the back themselves. Good tempo to this game. And there will be spaces for Brighton to go and attack. There's no doubt about that. It's just whether Brighton can make the right decision at the right time to take full advantage of those spaces. Here's De Bruyne. What about going left-hand side for Bernardo Silva? Instead he comes across the edge of the area to Mahrez, who helps it further on to Cancelo. His low cross goes through the legs of Bernardo, and it was Dunk who managed to get the clearance ahead of Foden. Bernardo now will need to try and clear his lines here, you'd imagine. Penned in by his own corner flag, and his attempted clearance scoops up off the boot of Cancelo. So City have it again. It's relentless at the moment from the Sky Blues. Flick down the line, lovely ball into the path of Cancelo, who gets under that cross. It might just stay in though on the far side. Foden is there to retrieve it. So City will stay on the front foot. Brighton with everyone back behind the ball at present. City drop it off towards the halfway line. They're trying to keep an organised, concise unit are the Seagulls. We'll see how long that sees them through in this game. It's already looking a little bit ominous. City have scored 20 goals in the 6 previous Premier League meetings with Brighton, with just 2 coming back in the other direction. Bernardo Silva appealing for a handball here. I think that one would have been harsh and maybe even came off the chest anyway. Brighton now have a chance to break, and Trossard sent down the left-hand side. He's got Mahrez on his heels. Cancelo comes across as well, and between the pair of them, they put enough pressure on the Brighton man to force him into touch. He's actually now just gone down on his haunches there. He clutched his face for a moment. Didn't appear to be any obvious contact. Darren England has now stopped play due to this issue ongoing with Trossard. He's got his hand to his cheek, but also looks as though he's maybe got a bit of a problem with his legs potentially. Let's take another look at this one. Just wondering there is when he runs the ball into touch, he sort of turns into Cancelo, and might have been a bit of a clash with the cheek of Trossard onto the shoulder of Cancelo. Certainly no intent, you would suggest, from Cancelo. He's got a bit of a reputation for getting involved in the niggly side of the game. You might remember a few weeks ago, well, a week or so ago actually, it was the Manchester derby. We had a couple of incidents involving Luke Shaw. Neither was prepared to back down on the physical front. City, of course, beating the Red Devils at Old Trafford by 2-0 in that game as they took their place in the Carabao Cup, and once again are on track to win that competition, potentially for a fourth successive time if they can beat Tottenham in the final. City here have lost possession as the game is back underway. Trossard seems to be all right. He's on the field as McAllister tussles with Mahrez and plays the ball back in towards Bernardo. Dumped through into midfield then with White. He's bundled over by De Bruyne. Not sure if that was initially the intent of White, but miscontrolled and then just put the brakes on. De Bruyne was charging to try and get that loose ball, just ran straight into the back of him. Brighton having taken the free kick quickly here, lost the ball but managed to retrieve it as City rushing to take advantage on concise enough, and it's Trossard who gets into the box, hangs the ball up to the far post. It's over the head of Zinchenko and will be drilled back, but it's over the bar and behind for a goal kick. Joel Veltman arriving on that far side of the field, and you see there the issue that Brighton might have tonight with no recognised striker on the field of play. Trossard, who is that forward man, breaks down the left-hand side, swings the cross in. Percy Tau was at the near post. David Propper also made a run to the near post. There was no one deeper than them within the penalty area. And that means that if the ball is not perfect from Trossard, as it wasn't, then there's not going to be anyone there to go and attack it. I've got options on the bench. Neil Maupay, the obvious one. There might be questions as to why he's not started tonight's game. For the Seagulls, he has had one or two issues on and off the pitch from his time at Brighton already. John Stones rolls it down the line now for Riyad Mahrez. Back into Stones, and now Diaz. Switch the play to Zinchenko, was initially in space, starting to be closed down by Propper. Plays a first-time ball to Gundogan. Back to Bernardo. Now De Bruyne fizzes it across the edge of the box to Gundogan. Beats one man, finds De Bruyne again. Shot there, saved by Roberto. And it comes out to McAllister, who's involved in a bit of a tussle to try and make some ground. He loses it, but Dunk will clear. Well, it was a good save by Robert Sanchez. Lewis Dunk immediately screams at the official on the touchline. He felt that De Bruyne was offside when this ball came back to him, but I think the replay is showing there that he was on. Dan Burn was a bit deeper than the rest of his defenders. Been a tight one that VAR no doubt would have had to look at, but had he scored there, De Bruyne, that would have stood. Best move that City have put together so far in this game. Just over 14 minutes played, but Brighton lived to tell the tale this time around. Just over 10 minutes gone in this game, and Manchester City firmly on top after the opening couple of minutes, where both sides were trying to get a feel of the ball. City have really got a grip of this game, moving it around really nicely. Again, no recognised striker on the pitch for the citizens today, but Kevin De Bruyne has played really well as an attacking option over recent weeks, and he's the man who's had the biggest chance of the game. Fizzed the ball to Ilkay Gundogan, edge of the box, and then continued his run into the area. Gundogan returned the ball. Brighton's defenders stepped up, everyone but Dan Burn, who was playing De Bruyne on. He managed to get the shot away. Good save from close range by Sanchez, the goalkeeper. Down at the other end, Brighton have had one half chance. That was a volleyed effort from a very wide angle from Joel Veltman. Nothing that was ever really going to trouble goalkeeper Ederson. At the moment then, it is City 0, Brighton 0. City just playing it around on the halfway line. At the moment, Diaz opens it up to the left-hand side with Zinchenko. Under pressure, he comes back all the way to his goalkeeper Ederson. And just to illustrate, having said there that City have really got a grip of this game, 71% possession they have at present.
Brighton would have expected that this evening. I wonder if there will be some tired legs out there as well from these Brighton players. They've made several changes from their most recent outing, that third round FA Cup tie at Newport County. They were taken to extra time and penalties in that game, so some extra minutes under the belt there that I don't think Graham Potter would have warmly welcomed. 7 changes in total from that game, so there won't be a great deal of players out there that are suffering the fatigue, but 1 or 2 possibly. City, on the other hand, very comfortable in their 3-0 victory over Birmingham in the FA Cup, as they extended their winning run of form. 6 games across all competitions now that City have picked up victories in. (13) unbeaten across all competitions. That loss against Tottenham, the last time they were defeated. Here's Bernardo on the ball. Through to Trossard. Tries a trick to get away from a couple of players. Riyad Mahrez is able to claim it though. And he wins a throw-in for Manchester City. Graham Potter out on the touchline, trying to orchestrate things, and I suppose so far so good. His side have been on the back foot. But with 17.5 minutes played, they haven't conceded. He conceded himself just prior to kick-off. That was a very strange week for them, from League 2 Newport County and Rodney Parade, and the pitch that had some rugby union played on it just the day before, to the Etihad Stadium, albeit a pitch that itself doesn't look in fantastic condition by its normal high standards. Conditions, I think, obviously difficult to contend with as we're well into the winter months now. Here's Trossard coming forward down the left, charging in towards the edge of the box. Wants the angle for a shot, he will get it away, but it's wide of the far post. The City defenders there just continue to back off as the ball was fizzed into the feet of Trossard. He should never really have been allowed to come in on his right foot. John Stones had squared him up. Diaz had come across as well. I think between the pair of them, they thought they had the angles covered enough to give goalkeeper Edison protection. And looking back at the replay, the dive of Edison suggests that he did have that far post covered if it was sneaking in. Trossard just ultimately, though, couldn't quite wrap his foot around it as was required. Been the perfect start for the Seagulls, a team that have won just twice all season. You have to go all the way back to 21st of November for that victory over Aston Villa, the last time they came out on top in a game in the Premier League, that is. Five draws and 3 losses in the meantime. One pretty impressive draw against Liverpool during that sequence. Manchester City have won themselves a corner. It'll be Riyad Mahrez to take from the City left, City right rather. So it'll be the in-swinger. He maybe placed this ball down and walked away. He has. He's going to leave this one for Foden. Swinging still by the left foot though. Flicks on at the near post. Will come to De Bruyne at the back stick. Sent it back in with interest, but there is Sanchez to come and claim it on the edge of his 6-yard box. Big kick away to the halfway line early, looking for Percy Tau, but Zinchenko was aware to that. Comes and meets the ball. De Bruyne being fouled there by Webster. He's managed to pass the ball away, and Darren England acknowledges that the foul was committed, but he's happy for the game to go on. Stones now through to Rodri. Foden coming to a central area. Still making his way back from right to left. Is taking the opportunity to put himself in a position that defenders maybe aren't expecting him to be taking. City have gone all the way back to Edison. Bypasses Tau and finds Diaz in the process. To Zinchenko on the left-hand side. De Bruyne just on the inside channel. picks it up, returns it back to the Ukrainian. Rodri dabs it back in towards Diaz. Flipped out to the right-hand side for Bernardo Silva. Again, just showing the durability of this Manchester City forward line. Bernardo Silva's played in pretty much every position across it. Gundogan is now on the left flank. Foden is through the middle. Mahrez is sort of on the inside right channel. De Bruyne is playing just off the forward line. So difficult for Brighton to know who they're picking up. Has to be really good communication as Trossard is just flagged offside here. And he's run slightly too early. He's actually offside for some time there. Never got himself back on after City defenders had stepped up. Bruyne playing one down the left-hand side now for Zinchenko, but that'll just skip off the turf and go out into touch for the throw-in. Manchester City 0, Brighton 0, just over 20 minutes played. A strong record at home this season, Manchester City in the league. Did start the campaign with that 5-2 loss against Leicester at the Etihad Stadium, but since then they've won 4 and drawn 2. 4 clean sheets in the process as well. Brighton come forward again with Trossard. Stones to have done enough to usher that away, but Trossard just about keeps it in actually. He's lost his footing though. City will have the ball then. Cancelo switches play through Diaz. Zinchenko now. De Bruyne is on his back down that left hand side, but he halts his run and shows for the ball. Gundogan lays it back into De Bruyne again. Good strength shown as well by De Bruyne as Webster came to meet him, but De Bruyne puts the shoulder there and sees Webster tumble to the floor as the Belgian comes out and finds a pass. Now Bernardo Silva up against Bernardo of Brighton. Silva drops it back into Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez back to Bernardo Silva again. Clipped infield to Rodri. Stones. Diaz on the centre spot. Through to Gundogan. Zinchenko breaks the lines. Ignored by both ball carrier and defenders as he just runs offside. Now Mahrez coming in from the right hand side, hangs a good looking ball up there, and Gundogan at the far post puts it back in the box. It's cleared away by Brighton. Zinchenko will look to continue this attack down the left. We'll come back to that chance in just a second. It's De Bruyne now, head up looking for where the options are, none immediately presenting themselves, so through to Diaz. And now Stones, great ball that was from Riyad Mahrez. Gundogan had just sort of ghosted away from his marker at the far post. It looked as though it was going out for a goal kick, but stretching, he managed to promote it back across the face of goal. It was Foden who I don't think expected that ball to come. He sort of stopped and wasn't paying attention. Next thing he knew, he glances, sees the ball coming, but can't react quick enough, and Brighton clear their lines. Great endeavour from Gundogan to not give up on that cause. If only Foden had done the same. Brighton putting themselves in a spot of bother here, trying to play out from the back. It's not quite as cute as City when they approach from a deep area. I think it was Webster on the far side that allowed Gundogan to get away when that Mahrez cross came in. The replay showing that sort of looked over his shoulder but away from goal rather than behind him towards the byline where Gundogan already was. So he had absolutely no idea. He looked one way and saw there was no one there, and I think maybe felt calm that he could just allow that ball to run, but little did he know that Gundogan was popping up and already ahead of play. Here's Diaz now. Through to Zinchenko with his fluorescent boots on this evening and braving the conditions in his short sleeve shirt. Likewise with Diaz. Out towards the left-hand side where Foden has got the pace here to get to the ball ahead of Veltman. Now needs the support. It comes in the shape of Bernardo Silva. Centrally through to Cancelo, who tries to work a 1-2 with De Bruyne. It was actually taken off his toes by Cancelo. Really nicely worked out wide. And now Mahrez sent towards the byline. He just stretching, can't make the most of it. It's behind for the goal kick. Beautifully weighted ball by De Bruyne, possibly just a bit too much on it. Although saying that, I think Mahrez actually probably should do better. He gets there soon enough, and I suppose on his swinger, his right foot just doesn't judge the flight of the ball well enough. Let's Brighton off the hook. Not for the first time today, Brighton get away with one, but they put themselves under pressure now. They'll have to clear their lines. A pass back into their own box towards Byrne. Almost saw Bernardo Silva steal the ball. Byrne was able to clip it downfield. Now Percy Tau driving to the byline. Looks for the cutback, the South African, but he's not able to find Trossard. In there was Gundogan, who's fouled as he tries to come out the box. That will be a free kick to Manchester City, just on the edge of their own penalty area. Not seen a great deal of Percy Tau in this game as of yet. Brighton fans have been hoping to see him for some time. The 26-year-old, lots of hype around him. Signed from South African outfit Mamelodi Sundowns back in 2018. Due to work permits and visas, he was unable to get himself in this Brighton side and has subsequently been out on loan on several occasions. So just going to break off here because there looks to be an incident. Let's take a look at this. De Bruyne has just played it down the line, and it's a pass back. There's a stretch there from Webster, and he diverts the ball back to his own goalkeeper, who picks the ball up. Manchester City committed one of these a week or so ago, and it was Zach Steffen in goal. So it's going to be a free kick to City inside the Brighton box. I think this is going to be just outside the 6-yard box, actually. Yeah, it's in fact pretty much level with the penalty spot, maybe half a yard in front of it, but to the left-hand side of the goal. So it's wide of the goal frame. Brighton players still trying to argue the case that it wasn't a back pass, but I think the replays are pretty conclusive that Webster opens his body up and turns back towards his goalkeeper as he passes it. So I'm not quite sure what Sanchez thought he was doing in picking that one up. Always difficult to score from these types of situations due to the fact that there's going to be little time to really move the ball and get a shot away before those Brighton players will be on top of whoever is taking it. The Brighton wall has been marched back 10 yards, which is now inside the 6-yard box. Robert Sanchez is building a wall which is coming out from the post. Basically 8 men across from the post coming outwards. Leandro Trossard has decided to lie down behind 3 or 4 of those players, although he's now got back to his feet. Referee Darren England has had to draw a second line on the turf just to show the Manchester City players where they have to stay. Of course, they have to now be a yard away from the wall. Trossard is back down, laying on the floor. Over the top of the ball, it's Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. I imagine this is just going to be shifted half a yard, and De Bruyne is going to smash this one at the target. Bernardo takes a few dummies before finding De Bruyne. His shot then is blocked. As I say, it's always difficult. He was immediately closed down, and I think Riyad Mahrez has run this one behind for a goal kick. There's McAllister, who came to get that block in as De Bruyne went towards the far side of the goal, looked to get whip on it towards that top right corner. But McAllister put his body on the line. Brighton survive once again. The games, or another game to come up on this service for you tonight, by the way. Tottenham against Fulham also can be heard on this service. An 8:15 kickoff in what's another busy midweek of Premier League football. João Cancelo crossing here for City, headed away by Webster. Zinchenko flicks down towards Foden. Back then in towards Rodri. Stones was urging him to switch the play forwards, but he's played it into Stones instead, and City now have to retreat all the way back to their goalkeeper. Tomorrow night's action in the Premier League, Arsenal against Crystal Palace. You can also hear that one on this service as well. That'll be the final of the midweek games before we go into another full round of fixtures over the course of the weekend. Here's Foden coming down the left-hand side for City. Half an hour played and still no goals. City knocking on that door, but I suppose you'd say not yet really barging it down. Here's Bernardo Silva trying to find the space out on that left-hand side. He can't really do too much, so he comes across to Stones. And Morris squared up by Byrne. Come through to De Bruyne, who whips a shot goal, which it comes off the chest of Webster. Tau does really well then to leave Zinchenko in his wake, breaking down the right-hand side, goes infield towards McAllister. Now Proper will send Trossard into the box, looks for the cutback there, and Tau was the target. It comes off a City defender through to goalkeeper Edison. Make his Brighton debut from the bench in that penalty shootout victory in the FA Cup over Newport County to Percy Tau. This his first Premier League outing for the club. The 11th South African to make an appearance in the Premier League. Called early from his loan spell with Anderlecht due to the fact that he had been finally granted permission to play in the top flight. The new points-based system has come into effect following the UK's exit from the EU on the 1st of January. Had scored 4 in 14 for Anderlecht, of course, a side that do have some links with Manchester City, with Vincent Kompany at the helm there now. Got a corner kick here for City as Riyad Mahrez's cross has taken a deflection, so second corner of the game for the hosts. This time it'll be De Bruyne to swing it in from this right hand side, so the out swinger as opposed to Foden's in swinger last time. Bit of pushing and shoving goes on. Brighton head away. Cancelo smashes it back, blocks off the back of Trossard. Diaz has done really well there to win City another corner. Looked a bit of a lost cause there as the ball was bouncing behind and Tau was on his toes. Diaz flicks it off him, keeps City at the business end of the field. Corner is taken short, worked out towards De Bruyne on the edge of the box. His cross there is held back from the byline by Rodri, but I think it's crossed the line. The flag is up, so it'll be a goal kick to to Brighton. Might well have even been offside actually, rather than the goal kick. Yeah, he did keep it in play. It's offside instead against the City midfielder. To Manchester City's bench, and Gabriel Jesus on there this evening. Back in the squad after his spell out self-isolating. Raheem Sterling on the bench as well. It's a bench full of options for the manager. Ferran Torres, another attacker that he could potentially turn to if required in the second half. Next time out for Manchester City in the Premier League. They have another home game against Crystal Palace on Sunday. Gundogan picks it up on the edge of his box, edge of the Brighton box. Now Zinchenko back to Gundogan. Comes out left-hand side for Foden. 2 or 3 waiting in the box for City, but not a great deal of height, so the cross doesn't seem the sensible option. De Bruyne will drive it down the line though, and he puts a low ball in, and it's put behind by Bernardo. Mahrez was coming in just behind there and ready to pounce. It's a lovely ball from De Bruyne. He gets it in between 2 players when he first delivers. Veltman and Webster. Just teases it to the far post. Goalkeeper Sanchez can't come for it. Bernardo had to react quickly. City take the corner short, and Mahrez will whip one into the far post. It's off a Brighton head, behind for another corner. Continue to turn the screw. Manchester City 0, Brighton 0. Just over 35 minutes gone. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Once more the corner is short into Bernardo Silva. So deep towards Zinchenko, and now Cancelo. He'll hang it up wide out on that left-hand side. It's gone beyond Ruben Diaz. He has to readjust and stretch to prevent the throw-in. He does that well enough, and now it's worked across to Gundogan. Fizzes it into the feet of Foden. And Mahrez rolls his studs over the ball in the box, then tries to cut across the path of McAllister, but it's good work by the Argentinian, who manages to win the ball and put a clearance in, finding Tau in the process. Veltman back in towards Webster. Proper finds Veltman, but the return ball to Proper just skips away from him as it spins away on this slippery turf. Gundogan goes and puts the pressure on down the field, and Bernardo Silva helps out as well. Into Foden now, looking for the cross there. It's come off the chest of Lewis Dunk. Really good defending, and Brighton will clear that line. City have appealed for the penalty, but there's no chance of that. Clearly looks to have come off the chest, if not the very top of the shoulder. Great reaction from Lewis Dunk. An orthodox way to clear, but he was falling back off balance and he just puts his body in the way. Again, to keep Brighton from conceding the first goal in this match. John Stones to Mahrez. Back into Diaz, who's under pressure from Tau, but acts calmly enough to find Rodri. Now Bernardo Silva in a pocket of space, able to turn, sends it out to Foden. Gundogan and Silva are in the box. Foden drives to the byline. His cross has taken a deflection. It's gone over the head of Robert Sanchez. It's gone beyond Mahrez on the far side and recovered by Trossard. Dan Burn will lay it back to Bernardo, who puts his left boot through it towards the halfway line. Tau tried to control on the chest, but it bounces away from him. Graham Potter on the touchline suggesting his man was fouled, but no one on the pitch or the referee seemed to feel that was the case. Slightly ambitious from Potter. Foden. And back to Zinchenko. Now Gundogan. Returns to Zinchenko, now to Foden. Looking for the cutback at the byline again, but he's just muscled off the ball and he's gone behind for the goal kick. Veltman getting the better of him this time around. That breaking play will give us a chance, I think, to look at this handball incident with Lewis Dunk. A cross comes in and it comes off the badge there, I think, on the chest of Dunk. Really good bit of defending because Gundogan was 2 yards behind him on the edge of the 6-yard box, and his eyes lighting up at the prospect of a potential tap-in from that type of range. Sanchez sends the goal kick downfield, flicked on by McAllister to Bernardo. Sends it across the width of the field looking for Tau. City are able to get a head in. Cancelo dispossessed there by Bernardo. The cross into the box headed down by Rodri. Brighton battle for it back. Cross comes in and it's bounced off Rodri, behind for the corner. High fives in Rodri's direction from Diaz, and Stones hands over a sign of respect as well for that defensive work. City guilty there of maybe overplaying it at the back. Looking for another clean sheet at home tonight, a 5th this season. Got to try and find a way through this corner. 5 minutes to go until the break. 2 over the top of it. And he's going to go in on the full. Ederson will come and claims it cleanly, and he'll bowl that one out now to De Bruyne as City look to come forwards on the counter. He's got Foden out to his right-hand side. Brighton starting to get numbers back. Foden is driving towards the edge of the box, challenge, but it comes to De Bruyne. The shot there is saved at the near post by Sanchez. Great breakout by City. De Bruyne making up so much ground there. He received the ball in the D, just outside the D rather, on the edge of his own box. Sent it towards Foden and did everything within his power there to make sure he was going to be in support of the England international. Took it off Foden's toes once he was dispossessed, and Sanchez making the smart save at his near post. So De Bruyne will take the resulting set piece. Four in the box for City. It's just clipped towards the near post. The shot there from Gundogan is wide of the front post. One off the training ground, I think. Gundogan starting around the edge of the box. He was unmarked and sort of coasted into a bit of space beyond the near post. Always clipped at sort of knee height for him to try and get over the top of and swipe towards the target. He didn't quite get his angles right. Summed up City's night so far. It's been good to a point, but that final effort just hasn't quite been up to standard. Here's Bernardo Silva at the byline. Nice Cruyff turn to get out of trouble and eventually finds De Bruyne. Back to Rodri and now Stones. Zinchenko into the play. The pressure from Tau. Has to retreat to Diaz. Stones has a little bit more time on it. Sends it down the right-hand side for Mahrez. Exchanges passes with Cancelo. Mahrez to Stones. Turn to the former Leicester man. Sends it down the line for Cancelo. It's good defensive work from Dan Burn in the end, who initially looked as though he was in trouble. Ball had been played behind him with Cancelo going around the outside to meet the ball that had been played on the inside. And Burn initially tried to be physical. Cancelo looked to have won that battle, but recovering Burn managed to use one of those long legs of his to wrap it around and send the ball into touch for the corner. Latest in the line of City players to take a corner is Foden. He's got Mahrez there as a short option, but elects to send it in on the full. They've got a fair bit of height in their side, much more than City do, so no surprise that it's headed away. Zinchenko works it down the left-hand side now. In towards Rodri. Switch of play, but header out from Brighton. Gundogan will guide it back down to Rodri. De Bruyne in a good crossing position out on the left-hand side, sends it low to the near post. Again, it's come off a Brighton player, and the corner this time prevented as Sanchez goes and retrieves it at the byline. There was again a few appeals. There might well have been a hand involved there. I think it was similar to that dunk one where it seemed to come off the torso rather than an arm. In the modern game, you're always going to get attacking players appealing for those types of decisions. City trying to put the pressure on once again as Brighton working around in and around their own box. Webster takes it out to the right hand side. He's got Bernardo Silva clipping at his heels. Manages to find a pass out to Tau, but he loses his footing, and that means Gundogan can simply retrieve the ball. Back to Bernardo Silva, now De Bruyne. To Foden, who beats one man, tries to get the shot away, and there is the opening goal. It didn't look the cleanest of strikes from Foden, but he's managed to sneak it in at the near post. After beating a man on the edge of the box, he took an effort with his weaker right foot and has given Manchester City the lead that they deserve just a minute before the end of this first half. Graham Potter's face tells the story. He knows how close they were to getting in at the break with a clean sheet and something to try and protect in the second half. But it's De Bruyne to Foden, who's almost forced into his shot, really, under pressure on the edge of the box. I think it is a clean strike, actually. This reverse replay might just give us a better indication. Yeah, he does hit it cleanly. Might not have taken the shot on as early as he did, had Dunk not been closing in on him. Goalkeeper Sanchez had almost set up as if he was prepared to dive to his left-hand side and across the far side of the goal. But Foden rolls it in at the near post. Manchester City have the lead. Phil Foden has given Manchester City the breakthrough that they deserve right on the stroke of half-time. It was Kevin De Bruyne who worked the ball into Phil Foden on the edge of the box. Foden, really quick as he controls it. He beats a man on the edge of the area. And on his weaker right foot, you expected he might well have whipped it towards the far side of the goal. Certainly that's what goalkeeper Sanchez seemed to be thinking. He'd planted himself and was ready to make that dive to his left. But Foden, under pressure from Dunk, I think just was forced a little bit into taking the shot early, and he squeezes it in at the near post. It's not great goalkeeping from Sanchez, but the slick surface has probably aided the speed of the ball as Foden manages to get City in front. Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. Phil Foden having a good season for City. He is their top scorer in all competitions this campaign. He's always expected to step up this term following the departure of David Silva. He's certainly not disappointing now, regular in the England ranks, as well as getting plenty of football with Manchester City. And there we have the half-time whistle. That's how close to Brighton were to getting in at the break. All square with Manchester City, but Phil Foden strike the difference between the two sides. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0.
At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City have plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with two of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems, really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems. Really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems. Really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems. Really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. City fully deserving of the lead, but they had to wait until the 45th minute to find it. Phil Foden sliding a right-footed effort in at the near post. As goalkeeper Robert Sanchez seemingly was ready to dive to his left and couldn't get down quick enough. City had plenty of chances though. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 of them. Sanchez making good saves. Brighton, at the other hand, haven't really caused too many problems. Really lacking any firepower. Story of their season. It's 1-0.
We're just back underway for the second half of this unofficial off-tube studio commentary. I'm Bobby Jackson taking you through this game. Manchester City 1, Brighton 0 in this Premier League clash. The two sides playing at the Etihad Stadium this evening, where the conditions do appear to have eased somewhat. They came out onto the field ahead of tonight's game with the rain pouring. It's one of a gloomy night in Manchester, but that rain seems to have stopped for the time being. Manchester City getting the ball rolling for this second half. And Phil Foden's goal, the difference between the two sides, was able to slot home inside the near post just in the final minute of the 45. A half that Manchester City were firmly on top in. Very rarely had to do any defensive work. And when they did, it never saw Edison called into action too seriously. Best effort from Brighton was probably a Trossard effort that was turned wide of the far post, although Edison seemed to have it covered. City had countless chances, with De Bruyne going close on a couple of occasions. Gundogan setting up a nice ball across the face of goal, but Foden didn't quite get there. Eventually Foden did manage to come up good. City's top scorer across all competitions this season. The difference between the two sides, and it's Bernardo Silva now trying to get City a bit more of a cushion coming forward down the right-hand side. Drops it back to De Bruyne. His cross there has taken a deflection. It loops up and finds the head of Veltman. His clearance on. It goes as far as Zinchenko. Now Foden through to Diaz. You wonder what the game plan here is now for Brighton. A goal down. Graham Potter might still feel that sticking with that same plan is the best opportunity for them to still try and nick something from this game, potentially on a counter-attack. City have got the ball at the moment. Everyone of a Brighton persuasion is back behind the ball. City now breaking down the right-hand side, looking to swing across him from a wide area. Delivery does come in, but Byrne is there to pick it up. They don't clear their lines though, Brighton, and Gundogan will work it across to Foden. Zinchenko emerges on the left-hand side, overlapping. Thinks about the cross, but decides against it, with only Riyad Mahrez really to aim for in the box. So they recycle it through Gundogan, going centrally now to Stones, who's well inside Brighton territory. City centre-backs have spent the majority of the game in opposition half of the field. Bernardo Silva comes infield from right to left before working it out towards Zinchenko. Foden offers himself up further wide and picks up possession briefly. First time ball back to the Ukrainian. And laid back in towards Diaz. City trying to find that golden combination to unpick the lock once more. Took them 44 minutes to do it in the first half. Guardiola will be demanding that they come up with the right formula much quicker in this second period to give themselves a bit of breathing space, put them in a position to start climbing up the table with that top four in mind. As things stand, they are going to move up to third in the standings as they win a corner kick here off Dan Burn. They'll be going ahead of Tottenham, Everton, Leicester. Played a game fewer than both Leicester and Everton. They'll be just a point shy of Liverpool, also with a game in hand on the Reds. 4 adrift of leaders Manchester United, with a game in hand on the league leaders as well. So things starting to look good for City after some suggest it was a bit of a mixed start to the season. Hit their straps of late. The corner comes in here, set it up, not quite away by Webster. Now he does clear as far as Foden, whose shot there is blocked by the legs of a Brighton defender. Gundogan picks up the pieces, but has been forced to come out of the box in the process. Rodri works it across towards De Bruyne. Into the area, Foden heads across goal, no one there, apart from goalkeeper Sanchez to go and retrieve it. A nice positive start from Manchester City. Up the same spot where they left off in that first half, as Ben White has just given the ball away in midfield. Brighton trying to play through the thirds and out of defence. White, who's playing in a holding midfield role today, as extra bit of protection for those 3 central defenders. Giving it away, here's City. Now towards Foden, headed back infield for Zinchenko. Turn finds Rodri, guides one out to the right side with Bernardo Silva. Stones has gone on the overlap this time as Bernardo Silva swings a good-looking ball in. It doesn't meet Riyad Mahrez, headed away by Webster. Foden is there to take control. Zinchenko back through to Diaz. Cancelo sells Bernardo Silva short. What can Brighton do now? Rare opportunity for them to come out in this second half. McAllister just overcooked that one. It'll go for a throw in. Graham Potter applauds the idea from the Argentinian. Alexis McAllister asking far too much of Joel Veltman. How long it might be until Potter turns to his bench with Neil Maupay waiting in reserve today. No Danny Welbeck for Brighton this evening. Missing Tariq Lamptey as well. Like every side, I suppose, in the Premier League, they've got issues to contend with at the moment. It's going to be a throw in here for Brighton as Edison tried to clear from his own box first time. It came off the back of Stones. It's gone into touch for a throw, which Brighton have just taken. So we're back towards the halfway line with Webster. Mahrez tries to force him into making a decision, which he eventually does by working it through towards Veltman. Back now to Dunk. Webster will have another go. Nice ball into midfield for Trossard, but Rodri is there to close off the angle of approach. But does it unfairly, says Darren England. Free kick to Brighton. A little bit of a coming together, and there's a tug on the shorts, actually. Maybe a bit clearer than any sort of contact with the legs. Zinchenko sliding in to deal with Brighton attack as they take the free kick short. It's out for a throw-in. Sent back down the line towards Webster. Now Dunk, the Brighton skipper. Looks to bend the ball around the outside down the right flank. Doesn't reach Veltman. City are able to work it forwards to De Bruyne, who's charging into a little bit of space over the halfway line now. Sent it out towards Bernardo Silva, who will switch the play through to Gundogan. Finds Foden in the box, first touch heavy, and in there is Webster to take it off his toes. Cleared out left-footed. Stones is up to win the header, but it falls into the path of McAllister, and that's good work by Cancelo to win it back for City. Back in Brighton's half of the field once again, and order is resumed. Rodri. Diaz. Zinchenko. A step over from the Ukrainian as he works it out towards Foden. Drives into the box and he's gone down there. Wants a penalty. Referee Darren England's not interested. Shake of the head from the referee as Foden gets back to his feet. Foden there had dropped the shoulder, was driving to the byline. There's definitely hands out there from Veltman onto the chest of Foden. Force as well, and it sends the Manchester City man tumbling. VAR could take a look at it if they choose to, but play has since resumed, so there's going to be no pullback there for Brighton. As Tau is forward down the right hand side. He did look bright on the odd occasion he was able to get on the ball in the first half. Just wasn't often enough that he got involved in the game. Here's Trossard now. Through to McAllister. Puts one in towards Proper. Fist across the face of goal. It was over the head of Tau. And Cancelo puts it behind for a corner beyond the far post. It's a nice move that from Brighton. One of the few times that they have played themselves into a good position. That ball from Proper wasn't bad either. First time promoting it back across the face of goal. They settle for the set piece, just the second corner of the game for Brighton. City have had 8 already. Not that they've done too much with them, in fairness. You'd feel Brighton have probably got the advantage with the height that they have on the field, but Rodri heads this one away. It's driven back by Proper and straight into the chest of Edison. Positioned really well was the Brazilian goalkeeper, and now he's just thrown it out over the halfway line. Phil Foden with the Marseille turn, beats one, is then bundled over, and you know what? If that's given us a foul, and it has been, it is probably softer than the decision he wanted inside the penalty box just a moment ago, but